Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.
Good morning, third graders. My name is Mrs. Nix, and I am so excited to be here with you to help you become an amazing thinker, reader, and writer. Speaking of reading, do you ever just have some favorite books that you just enjoy? They make you feel good and they remind you about what's important in life. This is a fantastic book I would love to share with you. It's called Something Beautiful. It's about an 8-year-old little girl who lives in a city that not everybody's gonna think is beautiful all the time, but she is able to look past it and find the beauty. She's making a choice, right? I wonder if you could see any connections, maybe to where you are living. Check it out. Something Beautiful. You can do that through your local library, or you can check it out maybe on Sora and check out what the beautiful things that she sees in her community. Boys and girls, another thing that I would love to suggest to you, if you're looking for something fun to do in at your home while you're there at home, we have some really fun activity books that we'd love to send to you. Super easy. All you have to do is send me a note to the little address that's listed here on your screen. Tell me, just write me a note. Hi, Mrs. Nix. Here's something that I've been learning in school, or something I learned by watching your PBS show. Or maybe you just want to call or just want to write and say hi. Draw a picture. I'd love to see it. I'd love to share it, and I'd love to share a fun activity book with you. It's free. Okay, don't forget to include your address so that I can get that mailed back to you. All right, today I have 3 things that we're going to go through. We're going to look at diphthongs, prefixes, and then we're going to finish up with some suffixes, but we're going to mix it up with a little comprehension. You ready to start? Okay, let's start out with those high-frequency words. Those are those words that you need to be able to read and write, that you come across often in your reading and your writing. So it's important you're able to spell them correctly. Now, we've been practicing them a couple of days. Have you had one that maybe you wrote on a little Post-it note and stuck it next to the sink when you're brushing your teeth? You've practiced it? Great! That's how you're going to get better, right? Practice, practice, practice. I love hearing those success stories. Okay, let's read them and see how we're doing so far this week. Okay, practice them with me. You should be reading them at home. Let's go. Play, please, pretty, pull, pick, place, part, people, over, and own. Nice. We're going to work on place and pick today. So pick is P-I-C-K. Don't forget to put that C in there. And place, P-L-A-C-E. So oftentimes, boys and girls will write it with an S. So even though it has the S sound at the end, remember that C-E says S. So think about it. Okay, help me put them in a couple of sentences. I've got 2 of them here. It's your turn to a movie to watch. And please put everything back in its All right, help me figure it out. It's your turn to place a movie to watch. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. It's your turn to pick a movie to watch. Is it your turn to pick a movie? I love it. Please put everything back in its place. Oh, boys and girls, if my children could just put their things back in place, it would make me so happy. I bet it would make your adults at home so happy if you could put your things back in their place. Makes me feel happy. Okay, let's go through, let's talk about diphthongs. Now, diphthongs, that's such a silly word, right? But it's simply this. You take 2 letters, put them together, and they make a new sound. All right, I've got a couple of examples. So, oi, I have my boy card to remind me of the oi sound. I have two different ways I can spell it. I can spell it with an O-I or an O-Y. Now an O-Y is at the end of a syllable. Okay, let's look at some examples. O-I, like in the middle of coins or in the middle of the word foil. O-Y, remember, it's going to be at the end of a syllable. So enjoy, or look right here, royal, royal. So you see that Y? It's even in the middle of a word. Okay, then I have my cow card to remind me of that ow sound, O-W and O-U. So let's look at some words. We've got allow at the end, or how about this one? Powerful, powerful, good. And OU says ow like in sound and pounce. Excellent job. All right, let's move right over here and start talking about prefixes, and we'll get into suffixes in just a second, but it's all on the same poster. Okay, here in the middle, we have our base words. Now, base words are those words that simply mean, they have meaning on their own. I'm going to move these out of the way for just a second because I want to talk about them first. So, known, order, and returnable all are words that have meaning on their own. We can add prefixes, which are just a group of letters. They're not words, it's a group of letters, but those letters change the meaning of the word. So these three prefixes mean not or opposite of. So for example, if someone is known, we would say that they're known. If I don't know them, if they're not known, here's what I can do. I can add the prefix un, and now I have the word unknown. Take order. So if I have everything in order, I have all of my things in place, like we were just talking about, that's fantastic. It's all cleaned up. What's the opposite of cleaned up and orderly? We would put this prefix right here and we would say, now everything is in disorder. Disorder means that it's in chaos, it's messy, it's not organized, it's not in order. And then finally, returnable. So if something's returnable, it means I can take it back, right? Well, if it's not returnable, I can put the prefix non in front. Non-returnable means that it is not returnable. Okay, yesterday we talked about some non-examples because I think that this is really important, especially as we're starting to read more words and we're training our brains to start to recognize some of these prefixes. Sometimes you're going to come across words that actually start with these letters and they're not prefixes. Yesterday we talked about this one right here. This is non. It has N-O-N. None, sorry, I said non, but none has non here in the beginning, but if I took that prefix off, it's not a prefix because that actually is the whole word. All right, I have a second one to show you just so we can kind of make sense of it. How about this word, dish? It starts with D-I-S, but I can't take that off. That's not a prefix. Dish is a word all by itself. So just remember that as we go through and we're practicing, train your brain to pay attention. Is it a prefix or is it just a word that starts with those letters? Okay, let's go through and let's practice some of those diphthongs and then let's practice some of those prefixes. Now on this one, we're going to go through and we're going to sort. So help me do a little bit of sorting. We're going to sort them with the oi sound and the ow sound. So we've got two different things. This is something you could do at home. You could take your words and just kind of start sorting them, put a column, what would go in each of the sides. So we have oi and ow. So what's this word? Coin. So where would it go? You got it, over here. How about this word? Round, nice. So it's going to go over here. Excellent. Next one. Noise, good. Town, where does it go? Yep, you got it. Owl, oh, you're so smart. Joy, over here. Shout, Ow, yep, I'm just gonna add it right here. And toy has that oi sound, so I'm just gonna stick it right in there. Great, now let's look right here. This one's kind of a little bit easier than what we did yesterday, right? Because now we're just drawing a line from the word to its meaning. Unknown means what? Opposite of payment, no. Not known, yes, right there. How about disagree? What does disagree mean? Well, it's not opposite of payment, not happy, no. To not agree. Yes, to not agree is to disagree. How about this one? Non-payment is the opposite of making a payment. That's right, non-payment. We didn't pay. How about unhappy? That means you're not happy. Oh, third grade, you are so smart. I love it. Okay, last little bit for today. We've been practicing some of those suffixes. We've got 3 of them. We have able, less, and full. Able simply means that you are able to do it or it can be done. Less, when we add that to the end of a word, it changes the meaning to that it's without. It's without whatever it is that you're asking. And full is full of. It's almost the exact opposite of without, right? Okay, let's look at some of these words that use some of these suffixes. So we have successful, acceptable, so that means that you're able to accept it, right? Fixable, moonless, and careful. Okay, I've got a sentence right here. Let's go through. Let's read this and see if we can figure out which of these words would make this make sense. Read with me. At first, steamboats filled the Mississippi River. Then the railroad came along. Trains became the most way to travel. So trains became the most, well, they wouldn't be moonless and fixable. We don't really have a problem. How about acceptable? Do you think people started to accept it more? So acceptable, what does it mean? Let's think about it. Well, ABLE means that it can be or it's able to. And so what does that mean? It's able to, would it be without acceptance? Well, no, that doesn't make sense because able means that you can. How about, can it be a problem? No, it's not going to be a problem. How about is accepted? Yes. So it's an acceptable way to travel. That means that it's accepted. Excellent job. Boys and girls, you have done a fantastic job today going through practicing those diphthongs, prefixes, suffixes, and even a little bit of comprehension. It was awesome. So thanks for hanging out with me this morning as you're getting ready for school. And remember, you're responsible for your learning success. So listen, ask questions, and share your ideas, because together we can do so much more. I can't wait to see you back here tomorrow at PBS. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
A brand new day, time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.